Welcome in, friends. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. We are in the Creatives for Christ event group today. And today we are talking about the greatest love. So I want to talk to you guys about the greatest love story that has ever been around. You know, we are in the month of love and all the things, and you know, February, we think of Valentine's Day, we think of, you know, being in love and who your love partner is, your love spouse, you know. But there's a love that has transcended before any, you know, mortal love has ever been there, and that is the love of Christ for us. You know, God loves us so much that he did what? He sent his only son to us to save us so that we could be with him. Hey there, Sissa, how are you? So I want to work and focus on that today. And I have a little golden book that is about the Easter story. And you know, the Easter story is, hey there, Lindell, thank you so much for the sprinkles, friend. I appreciate that. So the Easter time is when we reflect and think about that. Hi there. I'm doing well, thank you. Hi there, Miss Tracy. How are you, friend? Up after me, sorry, up after me will be our friend Sherry from Sunshine Designs. So please stay tuned to watch her. Hey there, Tamara's Designs. How are you doing, friend? Hey, Designer Roadkill. How are you? Hope everybody has had a blessed day so far. We've already had multiple presenters. If you did miss anybody, please go back to the Creatives for Christ event group so that you can watch everybody who's already been on. Thank you, Miss Sherry. I appreciate it, dear. Hi, Creative Roots. How are you? So, you know, like I said, talking about being so loved, and that is why the greatest love story that will ever be told is that of, Christ dying on the cross for us, because, you know, his biggest love was shown that day. And that's what I'm going to work on, making a few little ATC cards that are going to be in preparation for that journal that I'll be working on. Hey there, Becky's with Whimsy and the Painted Peach. Hello there, Miss Mary. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And so I'm going to turn y'all down so y'all can see what I have. So I have this beautiful piece of scrapbook paper that we're going to be working with. I also have this little teeny tiny bag that I want to decorate. And I have, these cards came from Scrabble deck, like the one that you play, not the regular Scrabble that we think of, but me again of the wood from the cross. So I want to incorporate these, but we're going to cover the back side of them with this really pretty paper. I think that would be really cute, and I want to prep this pocket to hold them because it's the perfect size to hold those cards. And like I said, this is going to end up going inside of that little journal that I want to work on. So it's going to be a cute little pocket that we're going to work together on. So again, thank you so much for having me, the Painted Peach, and also Sunshine Designs. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. And once more, if you have not yet joined, please take the time to join. Hey there, Miss Ruby. Hello, hello. Let me actually pull up the comments here, make on my phone. That way I make sure I don't miss anybody. because sometimes it be all wonkadoodles, you know. We all know how FB can be at times, so I want to make sure I don't miss anyone's comments. Hey, thank you for sprinkling me out, Miss Ruby. I appreciate that. Hey there, Miss Melanie. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Thank you again for the sprinkles, everybody. I really do appreciate that very, very much. And there we go. Thank you, guys. So this scrap of paper, I want to say I got this at the Hobby Lobby, but there's no thing on it, so I don't know where I got it. I thought I did, but I don't know where I got it. It's still really pretty. It's got little foil dots on it, and I love the watercolor technique for the crosses because it does add some nice color to it. So we're going to be working with this, and it's going to be a simple process. We are just going to put some glue down on these and get them prepared. It is some very pretty paper. That's why I was like hoping that I could remember where I got it from. Now, one of the things many times whenever we do get playing cards is that they're like this really slick. Hello there, Miss Teresa, welcome in. And so they have this slick back, paper glossy backing to them. So I'm just gonna rough it up a little bit so that my glue and everything will adhere and we won't have issues of stuff coming up, you know, because when we make stuff we don't want it to come apart. That's not the idea, right? So thank you for the sprinkles, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody's having a blessed Saturday. I really, 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 really do hope that everybody's having a blessed Saturday. So again, I'm just trying to get a little bit of that gloss off of it, okay? And then we're gonna just use regular Elmer school glue. That's what I'm gonna utilize on it. You know, I like my regular Elmer school glue, nothing fancy. These little desk vacuums are the best. So let's get our glue on, and then we can put and decide, you know, exactly how we're going to do the paper. I think I have a few different ways. I don't want them all to be exactly the same, so we're going to find some different ways of making them. And this would be a great idea for a little altered card as well. So if you like to do altered cards to gift to people, they send in the mail quite nicely, as long as you don't go too heavy on the 3D embellishments. They are actually a very cute thing. So there are like groups that do the exchanges of the little altered cards, and that's what you're doing. You're taking a playing card, whatever type of playing card. I said these are from a Scrabble on the go type game, and these I guess were meant to be like blank spaces because they have nothing on them, so that's what I'm thinking they are. Hey there, Miss Julie. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you popping in as well, and for the shares. Again, everybody, thank you so much. And I'm just using my finger to spread my glue because I'm trying to save my brushes as much as possible, because I have ruined so many brushes with my glue. I am very rough on my brushes, y'all. I definitely do not show them much love, because those poor things, they do glue and then I'll use them for paint, and yeah, they just end up being all messed up. And you know, brushes ain't cheap, y'all. So lately I've been using my finger more, because guess what, it's just school glue. It's not like I'm trying to spread resin or something that's dangerous. I would definitely not recommend you do this if you're using something like a Fabri-Tac or a 3-in-1, because that's a PVA glue, and those are what's essentially a rubber glue. So yeah, you definitely don't want to do that with your finger. But this is pretty fun, because now I could do like we used to do in school and just rub it off and I'll be fine. And you're the same. Yeah, I'm really bad on my brushes. I mean, yeah. So they're already pretty dry, but I'm gonna go ahead and dry them up a little bit. Now they're gonna want to curl. That is because we put a wet medium on one side. You can prevent that from happening by, adding, painting on the back side as well. But it's not necessary. We're gonna iron these when we put our paper on. That's why I'm drying them. This is gonna be our iron-on method. And you can do this with napkins if you want to. I'm doing it with paper because I have that really pretty paper there that I really like. And you don't necessarily have to use a playing card. You can cut cardstock or watercolor paper down to the size and just decorate those as well. Exactly. Fingers work just fine. They work just fine. Alright, so let's start with the first one. And we're going to go ahead and add it. And then I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper. Alright. And you want parchment paper, not wax paper when using an iron, okay? Because if not, you're going to make a nice big old mess. And I get these pre-cut pieces of parchment paper from the dollar store. They are so good to use. Like I said, this is a 5.5 by a 5.5, and it's perfect because I do a lot of smaller items usually, not the really big ones. But the last time I was in my Dollar Tree, I did notice that they were carrying now a larger size as well. So, of the pre-cut ones. And it's just so much easier to have the pre-cut ones instead of having to tear that, instead of having to tear the big roll. And just like that, it has been glued down. Alright, let's trim this up. And you could sand this if you want to, but I'm just going to trim it up for today with my scissors, because I don't really need to worry about And I'm really not looking for the distressed look from using my little sander, so cutting is just fine. Obviously, if you want the distressed look, then please, by all means, use your sander and sand off your edges of your paper, because it does look really cute when you do that. Alright, I'm gonna... no, don't stick to the front, please. Let's get those pieces off right quick. Boom, 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 boom. So you don't get in the way of the next one that I'm gonna work on. Well, since you want to be glued down so bad, since you had to stick to the paper, we're going to go ahead and get you glued down too. Oh, just, you know, line it up somewhat. Get our parchment again. And our little iron. You're hard on your brushes, but you like... You know what? When we were little, we even did finger painting. Like, our fingers are the first tool that we are taught to use when it comes to art. And it goes all the way back to cavemen. I mean, they used their fingers, their hands, to draw all those images that we see nowadays. When, you know, looking at those wall paintings. So, why not use our fingers? Right? I know with my kiddos, you know, we did like the fingerprint art. I don't know if you guys remember doing that, where you purposely were using your fingerprint and leaving your fingerprints and then making little animals or something out of it. So yeah, I mean, our fingers are the very first thing that we get. Hello there, Miss Nora. Welcome in, friend. Welcome, welcome. So for anybody who's popped on, I am in an event with the Creators, Crafters for Christ and event group. So and we are focusing on being so loved, and for me, the greatest love story of all times happens during Easter, when we remember that our Lord died for us, showing us the biggest act of love ever. So I think this one I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. I'm actually going to use this background that's kind of, it looks like a little bit of like a script type background. We're going to use that. And then we're going to add to it. So I hope everybody's had a good weekend so far. This Saturday, you guys have any plans for tomorrow? I know tomorrow's Sunday, but I also know it's a big day for football. I'm not a big into football, but I do know that it's a big day for football. It's the Super Bowl. Don't know if anybody watches it. I don't really. So okay, so again, I'm just going to trim it up. Trim, trim, trim. Use those scissors to trim, trim, trim. So if you guys are ever at a thrift store and you see an old deck of cards, pick it up. It's a lot of fun to decorate these. These turn into cute little additions that you can add into pockets of your journals. for those who like to do that. You can cover your playing cards in gesso, and then you can paint over them for those who are painters, and you can make little works of art. I definitely don't have that. That was not something that I was ever really, good at. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use this one that is right here, and I'm going to add it here to the bottom. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to fussy cut this image, and we're going to use this over here. So, when you have a really cute piece of paper, or maybe you have an image out of a book, you can fussy cut what you like from it and add it to anything that you want, really. Oh my goodness. Well, I will be praying for you, Creative Roots, because yikes. That's gonna be a hard one. Because regardless, somebody is not gonna be happy by the end of that game. Yeah, I don't do the football thing either. My oldest son really likes football. Neither team is his thing. He's gotten my daughter into watching football, but again, it's not my thing. And yeah, they'll watch it. They'll watch the game, and we'll go hang out. But yeah, I'm not a big sportsy person like that. Now, give me a soccer game. When the World Cup starts here soon, now that's a whole nother story. That I will watch, regardless of whether it's well, my country didn't make it, so, but the U.S. did, so that'll be fun. We'll get to watch them and support them. See, Miss Lindell loves football. Miss Nora loves football. I never understood American football. So that's why I said, give me soccer. I understand that. I grew up around it. Heck, we played it for fun during recess at school all the time. I mean, I would much rather be out playing a Mahinga, a very, non-professional soccer game with the guys than I ever did sitting around with the girls. That was just never my thing. So I'm going to use it. I had already cut this, and I'm going to actually like butt it up to the edge, and that way I can add my little cross like that. The traffic, it's going to be the same way here in Atlanta, because they're going to host games this way as well, because of the Mercedes-Benz. So, do you love the Broncos? Yeah, hubby was like, if I wanted to, we could, especially if Costa Rica would have made it this year, we would have gone. He's like, we'll figure it out, we'll go, because them tickets are not cheap for the World Cup. But nah, I was like, I'll just watch on my phone, it'll be fine. But I do enjoy watching a game or two. Baseball, yeah, there you go. There's so many different sports. One of the things I will say, if people would be as fierce for Christ as they are for sports, I think our world would be so different. Because I remember how intense how intense it gets with like the local teams back home. Oh my gosh. It'd be crazy. And yeah, the whole, you think traffic is bad. I've seen roads blocked by people out celebrating and you can't get around. And I'm not talking about them being in their cars. I'm talking about people just out and straight out just, ugh, that's bad. Hey, Mom. So yeah, if people would be as fierce and for Christ as they are for sports, things would be so different. Alright, so we have these options here. So, and then we can still write back here, which is really cool. Okay. And I like how we did kind of switch it up so they're not all exactly the same on the side. Now let's work on this pocket. Now this is a little bag. Like I said, it is a little paper bag. Okay. I actually think this one was like it was skinny and like really really long, and I cut it down to size. I don't like how I cut it. I kind of cut it like all wonky, so I'm actually gonna recut it and hopefully cut it a little bit better. So let's use maybe some cute designer scissors, right? And I'm going to bring the one flap down so that we can like, I don't know if you guys ever saw when the World Cup was in like in Rio de Janeiro, and how they would show images of like the whole like roads blocked and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, seen that. It gets intense. Now this next one I'm going to try to cut a little bit lower than the back one, and I know that then we'll have to fix the flaps, but that'll be fine. And that is just so that we can create this pocket. Look, and I'm using two different scissors, so we'll see if this works. If not, I might have to do it by hand, which is fine as well. And I mean, there's so many sports, y'all, like so many. Because I mean, there's hockey and golf and basketball. And don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch and it's a good pastime, but I just think some people take it a little too seriously, you know. And when those players are paid more than, you paid so much to throw a ball or kick a ball, you're paid more than, someone like a teacher who should be paid better for all the work that they do. I don't agree with that. I don't. Because at that point, we are, creating idols. And that's not what we were told to do, right? We were told the opposite. We were told to not create those idols. So, yes, please join our group. We would love to have you come and hang out with us. The event, it keeps on going. Miss Sherry will be up after me. But we have a day filled with amazing creators. So please, 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 please follow along. Alright, so to create that level of distance in our pocket, I am going to go ahead and ink my back here. Like I said, this is going to get added into a little golden book journal that I will be creating for the Easter season. So I'm doing this citron or very bright green. I've got this very bright green for the back, and I'm actually going to go ahead and do, let's see, this one has a lot of green, so let's use the green on this side. And we'll ink up our edges. Again, just to give it that cute color, right? So yeah, so that's my soapbox for the day. I feel like we, you know, yes, it is fun. Yes, it is a good, you know, distraction, but we shouldn't create those idols, and sadly, that is what has happened. And we were warned and told not to do so. And yet we have done that. Alright. And where's my pink go? I'm going to bring our pink in for the next one. So this is nice bright colors. You know, Easter time, we have all those nice colors going around. So I definitely want to have those bright colors. As sad as it was that Christ died on the cross, you know, I find it so heartbreaking how quickly his followers forgot what he had told them. You know, he would not be in the grave, you know. But then again, he was gifted at birth different things. What are they called? The incense that is used at burial time. Like, I was listening to somebody talk about that here recently. Like, think about for Mary how weird that must have been. Like, you're coming to see this child. He's just born. You know, the gold we can see. Okay, that's, you know, we can see the gold. But the frankincense and the myrrh, like, you talking about him dying? Like, why are you giving him embalming stuff? But that was a reminder that even as a newborn, his purpose was already foretold by his Father, was to come and to die for us, right? So he was coming to die for us. That was his sole purpose, you know, that his Father had given him, was to come to earth to die for us. So how can you not see that as one of the best love stories? Alright, that heart is way too big, so we're going to cut it down. We are going to cut this down, and hopefully I can make it to fit and still look like a nice size heart, because I'm going to use this as a template to cut the paper so that we can add it on here. Good morning, Miss Chandra. Welcome in. Welcome to the Creatives for Christ. Oh, still too big. I am working on making some journaling cards and a pocket for them, and these are going to go into my Easter journal that I will be working on. You know what? Maybe having a little bit hanging out is actually going to be kind of cute. So, yeah, let's roll with it. We'll do it that way. So again, I am going to pull the paper that we've been using, come on the back side, and we're just going to trace our heart. I'm going to use my pencil, we'll trace it out, and then we'll just cut this, and we'll add it to the front of our little baggie that's going to hold our cards in. And like I said, that's going to be added into my journal. If I would have found where that little golden book went to, we would have worked on the cover as well today. But I have no clue where in the world that ended up. I was looking and looking and looking and could not find it. Watch when I go look for it. It'll be in the Oh, thank you, dear. Be safe on the road, hun. And enjoy celebrating this new life coming into the world. That is, you know, that's always a blessing to celebrate when new life comes into our world. Because every life is precious. God has given us so much beauty, and we take so much for granted. We really do. I hope talking about beauty, I hope we start to see some spring coming up pretty soon. Alright, let me go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the green on this one. Just so we can pull in from the back side of our baggie. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for spring to actually hit. I know that we're still dealing with cold weather, snow, ice, those kinds of things, but it'll be here. Spring will officially be here soon. You know, normally February does tend to be one of the colder months for us here in Georgia. January, February, but heck, we've had blizzards all the way into March, so you know, it is what it is, right? Okay. Oh, that's gonna look so cute right there. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Like I said, just be safe on the roads. You know, this weekend will be a very crazy weekend on the roads too, with all of the preparations for tomorrow happening. Let's see, get this on here. And you know what, let's go ahead and put our little iron to it just to help it. And this bag is also not wanting to sit 100% flat, so maybe I can get it to sit flat with my iron. Normally paper bags sit flat with no issues, but this one is just being... I wish I could find some small ones like this, because I think they would be a lot of fun to work with, you know? It's a little bit better at the bottom. So here we go. I like that. That actually came out really cute. So here are our cards. We did this. And see, now they fit in there nicely like that. So they'll fit in there and you can pull one out and you can write on it or such. I like that. I like that. I said, I think those came out really cute. Maybe we can swap them around. Let's see. Get them to where we can see all three of them. Alright. So that's that. Now, from another piece, I have actually some extra here, and I do want to see if we can turn and make an additional pocket out of what we have. Okay, so I was like, where did my scissors go to? So still using the script and the cross one, we're going to make us some pockets that I can use into my journal. Like I said, right, today we are working on making different aspects of items that we can utilize. Okay, so when you are making a pocket, the biggest thing that you have to think about is that you have to have space to fold. I'm going to bring my big scissors out for this because it'll make it a lot easier. Hi, Miss Teresa. I'm doing well, thank you. Please tell me that you got your package. I've been dealing with being excessively sleepy lately. I think my I don't know if it's my iron is running low or my narcolepsy is starting to act up again. But it has been so hard lately because all I want to do is sleep. Sleep, 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 and more sleep. That's all I want to do. Alright, I'm going to bring my scoreboard out, and I'm bringing that out so that I can take this, it's essentially a square at this point, so I'll do it. This is 3.5, and let's actually cut some of this down because it's not 100% by another 3.5. So I'm going to come in and I want to score We're going to score at 1/4 so that it gives me enough space to glue, okay? So we're going to score. Alright, so this is for the bottom flap that we're going to put up like this so that we can glue it. We're going to trim in a diagonal on both ends. Okay. Now we're going to do our sides because we have to have our sides as well. So again, we are going to score at 1/4. Oh, biggest thing is I gotta make sure that, yeah, 1/4 will be fine for my cards to still fit in there. So we're gonna score it at 1/4 again on both sides. And these flaps are what you use to glue. Okay. Ooh, that was so wonky. Oh my gosh, this completely moved on me, didn't it? Alright. Yay, up next is you! Woohoo! Excited. Okay. And just like before, we have to make sure that we trim and make little triangles at the edges. Okay, so that when this closes, right, we have a clean edge at the top here. And then here at the bottom, okay, we don't want this to be too bulky, so we're going to come in here and I'm going to mortar this a little bit. And all I did was make sure that I cut, but I left a little bit here at the corner. Okay. No, I'm excited to see what Miss Sherry will be doing. And then this is ready here for me to, you know, glue it all in. So there's one pocket. Let's do one with this one. Now this one, don't have exactly the length that I need. I mean the width that I need. So we're going to actually turn this into a tuck spot, which is another style of a pocket per se. It just only glues on 2 sides versus 3 sides. Hello there, Miss Donna. Welcome in, friend. And this one this one really does not have a lot that you have to do to it. Okay, but again, I do need to have my score spots so that I can fold and glue. So I know it's really cool to have the little printables that already come with everything ready, but if you have pretty paper, you can make your own, you know, pockets, and you can make your own you know, ephemera spots, anything like that. So it's really not that hard to do. And you really don't even need to do the corners here. I just like to have them, the glue sections. But you really don't even need to have those for a tuck spot, because you could very simply just put glue here and here and then it falls inward, you know. But again, I like to have that little folded spot because it helps to push that pocket or tuck a little bit further out. Now, this is sticking out. We don't want that to stick out, so we are going to cut another, and now we have it like this. You can round this. I mean, it is completely up to you how you want your, you know, little areas to look. And then again, ink this up. It looks real pretty, right? I saw that we had this cross right here, so I'm going to utilize it on the pocket that we did. Again, I'm gonna fussy cut it. I'm gonna fussy cut this out. I'm not a big fussy cutter, y'all. I mean, which is kind of crazy considering that I love to junk journal, and there's a lot of fussy cutting that tends to happen with it. But it tends to hurt my joints, and so I don't do it a lot, but I will fussy cut some. And I want these crosses as elements, so we're going to cut them out and we're going to add it so that way everything is going to be cohesive because it's going to follow the same patterns, you know what I'm saying? So that wherever I put this pocket, it's going to coincidate or correlate, not coincidate. I just invented a word, y'all. Coincidate. So that it is going to correlate with the card that we did. So I'm going to get some glue. Now for this I'm using the Aleene's Turbo Tacky because it does, once it's down, it's down. And I do like that. So if you guys are looking for a glue that's gonna have like that very quick hold, this is an option, and it's not as expensive as some of the other options out there. See? Look at how cute that looks. And this is gonna match now this card that we did in here. So if I did another card or so, it's gonna match it. See? Now this is pretty tall, so this one will probably end up being for a tag just because it is so tall. Because if I put this in, it's barely gonna stick out. So you could put another card in here, but I think I'll end up using this for a tag instead of a card. So that is a pocket with some journaling cards. We have a pocket, we have a tuck, and I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make one more. I want a tuck that goes in that direction now. And thank you again for having me. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully you guys will come back and see me. Like I said, I am working on, I will be working on a journal for Easter time. And like I said, to me, the greatest love story is the Easter story. So this one would actually do good as a little pocket. So let's do a straight up pocket instead of another tuck, because it's kind of wide, so that'll work. But stay tuned, because in the next 3 minutes you will be able to refresh and you'll be able to see Miss Sherry, and she's gonna be on, and she does amazing devotionals. So if you ever want to listen to the word, come and follow her. She normally does them in the morning. This week coming up is my Just Journaling Around event, and she does a devotional for us on Thursday at 11:40 and starts us off. So hopefully you guys will come and join us and listen and be blessed for the day. We would really love to have you join us. But stay tuned. There is a day filled with awesome creators. And again, I'm just going to give myself a small fold down here because I do like to have that fold. And cutting right there where it folds so that it does not, you know, get there. And so here we go. There is another pocket. Simple, easy to do. You can ink the edges of this, but now this is ready to go into a journal. You know, many times having things ready like this is actually very, very good, because then it's the process of actually putting the journal together becomes a lot easier, you know. So I'm going to cut this piece down that I have to make two more. Hey, handsome. So once again, I'm just going to create those little folds. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to go and see our wonderful, sweet Sherry. Please keep her in your prayers. As most of you know, she has been battling with health issues. I know that several of our wonderful, lovely ladies in the community have. So just keep each other in prayer, guys. It really does. It does make a difference. You guys, it really, really does. I believe in the power of prayer. So just cut those corners and we're ready to fold. Again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Please go and watch the rest of our awesome creators. Miss Sherry from Sunshine Designs is next. And I hope to see you all very soon. You guys have a wonderful day.